Hello everyone, it's Old Butter Bob, and I'm going to make my famous chili recipe today. And remember, these more elaborate recipes like this is something that you shouldn't do every day. I like to keep it simple, but you need something to change it up every now and then. And on my website, the chili recipe has been very popular. I'm going to change it up a little bit today, so hopefully it'll turn out good. I'm going to increase the meat a little bit, going to increase the broth a little bit. And as you see, I've already chopped up the vegetables. And cut my thumb, of course. That's how handy I am in the kitchen. So, and I'm going to spare you what I said when I did it. Right now we're going to brown the meat. It's 4.5 pounds of hamburger meat. We're just going to brown it up in the pan. Later we'll put it in the pot. It's a lot of meat, I know, but plan on feeding a lot of people. We're going to start that browning, and while it's browning, long lid. While it's browning, we're going to do the other stuff. Normally, I would be doing that while it was browning, but I've already got it done. So I'm also going to add a little hot sausage to this mix. This is just some hot Tennessee Pride sausage, and just going to get that in the pan and let it brown with the hamburger meat. Sorry, but I'm no professional chef. It's going to take quite a while to do that. We're going to put a lid on it in a minute and wash my hands. Okay, I've washed my hands and got a lid on this thing while it's going to be warming up and getting the meat good and brown. As you can see, I've already cut up 2 large onions. I cut up 2 green peppers. I've already got my cans open for the rotel. My recipe calls for 1, but I've got 2. For this recipe, we're going to do a little bit more. And I usually call for a small 10-ounce can of puree. I've got a, I don't know what this is, 20-ounce can of puree. Well, and I've got a larger 48-ounce box of beef broth. I usually call for like a 30-ounce box. On the spices, I've got them weighed out just to save time. As you can see, I've got 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I've got 3 teaspoons of salt. I've got 1/4 cup of cumin, and 1/8 cup of cumin and 1/4 cup of chili powder. They're ready to go into the pot when the meat browns. Right now I'm going to chop up the vegetables in my little handy-dandy chopper thing. And my family likes them a little chunky, so I'm going to try not to get them really fine. And here we go. I just get a few and put them in there at a time. I mean, those of you that cook, you're probably saying, why is he showing me this? But, you know, why not? My family likes the vegetables a little chunky, so I leave them a little chunky if I can. So just chop them up a little at a time in this handy dandy chopper. Makes it a little easier to chop. I don't put a lot in there at a time. That way I don't get them real fine. Leave them just a little bit chunky. I'm going to do the peppers. The peppers are a little bit harder to chop up without getting them mushy. So I don't put as many in, and I just hit them 2 or 3 times with the chopper. Maybe a little. Our meat's sizzling really good over there. I need to turn it here in just a second, mix it up. Those were 2 peppers. and 2 large onions. Just got them all ready to go now. We've got everything ready to go for when the meat gets done. All right, clean up a little. All right, what we're going to do is just we're just going to wait on the meat to get done. I'm going to stir it up right now, and I'll join you back when we get a little further down the track here. All right, the meat is brown. We're going to drain the grease off of it. We're not going to throw the grease away. We're going to keep some of it. And so we're going to get that done now, hopefully without making too big of a mess. I'm going to leave the lid on it and kind of pour it into this bowl here. If we make a mess, we'll just cut that part out of the video. Draining all the grease off for the time being. We're going to add back some grease later, because fat is good. But if you put too much fat, believe me, it's not that good. It's not that it's not good for you, it just doesn't taste that good. So we got the grease out. We'll take the lid off, and we're going to add the meat to this big pot, hopefully without making too big of a mess.
Don't burn yourself.
You see I've left the meat kind of chunky. Again, my family kind of likes everything a little chunky. I don't know why, but they do. They don't like it mushy.
And he's using a metal spatula on my ceramic pan also. It's wonderful.
Alright, we got that. Now it's time to start adding all of our spices and juices and all that other stuff down in the pot. Bunch of meat. We're going to add the rotel. I usually do one, but we're going to do 2 because we're doing more people today. I've got a lot bigger can of tomato puree today than I normally do on my website. Save the cans, we're going to put a little water in there. Going to add the spices. Easy peasy. Add the vegetables, the onions and peppers, and we're going to add this beef broth. Which takes a while. Probably should have cut a hole in it so it would be faster. It maybe wouldn't make those sounds. Alright, we'll stir it up a little bit. Come and bring the camera over here. As you can see, it's very thick. There's lots of stuff down in there. And I'm going to add a little water to it. I'm going to add probably this can full of water. Just to loosen it up a little bit. Remember, you can always add water, but you can't take it away. So if you get carried away, you probably mess it up. Stir that in real good. And I'm going to start with adding maybe one little can of grease. Just to give it a little bit more of that fatty flavor. We don't want to go crazy with it. There we go. It's done. It's going to cook for a while. It's going to heat up, cook. And I'll bring the camera back once it's a little bit more done. Steaming. I'm not really sure how long to cook it, if you want to know the truth. I cook it until it's good and done, and all the flavors have time to blend together. So I get it kind of hot, then I let it cook on low for an hour to really let it blend together. All right, I'll see you in about an hour, but it won't seem like that on this video. Okay, it's been a little while. We're gonna start stirring this up a little bit. You can get in here and look at the chili. It's starting to cook. It's not ready yet. Vegetables are still pretty hard. We're just gonna let it cook. And we'll be back in a little while. All right, well, I think it's cooked. It's been about, how long? About 45 minutes to an hour of cooking. On about medium. I turned it up a little bit. Get in there so you can see it when I stir it up. All right, we're just going to dish it out and get ready to eat. Let's get a big. All right, and we're going to put a little cheese on there. And maybe a glop of sour cream too while we're at it. Because I like a little sour cream in mine. There we go. Ready to eat.
You got cheese hanging
Really
down.
Little cheese never hurt. Thanks for watching.